We go 1, 2, 3, 4 units to the right and 1 unit down. This is my new F point. We call that F prime because it's like F, but it's not. G, same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 unit down. That would be G prime. And Y, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 unit down is right there. That's Y prime. And then you just take your little straight edge, because your 7th grader is not in preschool anymore, and you connect those dots. Mine not so much because, so there's your little thing there. First A, easiest one is translation. Second easiest one, although not as easy, is reflection. Okay? Try to follow along with me here. This is not easy, but it certainly isn't. If you are, first of all, you've got to see what you're reflecting around. In this case, I'm reflecting around the x-axis. So it might be a good idea to take something, a different colored something, and make a little dashed line to show what it is you're reflecting about. I am reflecting about the x-axis. Okay, are you with me here? If I am reflecting point K, I'm going to try to do this lightly here. Okay, point K, you look at that and you look at it compared to the axis, the point of reflection. In other words, K is 1, 2, 3, 4 units away from that reflective point, that axis there. It's going to be the same number of units perpendicular away from it on the opposite side. In other words, my K was 4 units straight down from there. If I reflected, if I fold it on that piece of paper, K is going to be 4 units away from it up here. And that is K prime. If I'm looking at point M, you look at perpendicularly how far it is away from that axis. It is 2 away from there, so you go 2 in the opposite direction right here, and that is point M prime. So now I could connect these. This line right here is this line right here reflected on that other axis. Okay, point J is 1 away from that axis, so you have to go perpendicularly down this time because it's on the other point. J is going to end up right here, or J prime, if you will. And the same thing with letter C. You go opposite that axis, put a point, and that's C prime. So your reflection is going to look like this. You're going to connect these two. J gets connected to K, and C gets connected to M. If you were reflecting it there, and I was using this thing, drawing straight lines, it would go here, 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 oh that was nice, and here, oh boy, okay. So you think of the axis of reflection, I would make it obvious what it is, and you just think everything's going perpendicular to it, because when you flip it over, that's what it is. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the toughest one of all, rotations. Rotations are just hard because it's hard to see what's actually happening there. Oh, how did it move? I had it right on top of each other. And I don't know if I've come up with really a great way to figure that out, other than, again, look at the X and Y axis when you do this. This is supposed to be rotated 90 degrees counterclockwise. And the first thing you have to understand is what is clockwise, what is counterclockwise. And I know from basketball practice that many of you struggle with that concept itself. Okay, as a clock turns, a clock goes this way, so that is clockwise. Spinning it the other way from there, if the clock happened to run backwards, that is counterclockwise. So what this is asking you to do is take this, and again, you want to know what the rotation point is. The rotation point is the origin, which is good because that at least makes it a little easier. And you're taking this whole shape and just going a quarter of a turn this way. Okay? So really the best way to think about that is this. This axis, the x-axis, actually gets turned and will match up with the y-axis when you turn it. So this point here that is 1, 2, 3, 4 on the x-axis, when you spin it, it's going to end up being 1, 2, 3, 4 here. This point will be, what is that, z? Z prime. Now, through the magic of the big screen here, I think I can actually show you this for real. If I can spin this about this here. I don't know if it spins here. So here I am. You should be able to see through the top layer. Maybe I can make that a little lighter. Let's go 75% and see if you can see this. If you spin it 90 degrees, okay, do you see where point Z ended up turning and ended up being there? Point J, this thing on here, again, point J, if you're looking at the x-axis, goes out here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down 2. Well, that's going to be the same thing on the y-axis because I rotated it. It's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 2. And that's where this point J prime ends up. Okay. And then if you look at point L here on the, it starts out being on the y-axis. When you turn it 90 degrees, it's actually going to be the x-axis. And it's 1, 2, 3 points away from the origin, so it ends up right there. What is that point? L prime? So when you draw the shape, it's going to look like this. Oh, no, it won't. If I said to rotate 180 degrees, and it wouldn't matter whether you rotate 180 clockwise or counterclockwise, it's the same thing because it's a half a spin. Notice how what would happen here though is this is going to flip all the way around and it's going to end up over here. So let's do this in red. If you're doing 180 degrees, it's still going to be from the origin 1, 2, 3, 4, but that line rotates 1/2 a turn over here. So this point Z ends up actually being this point right here, Z prime. This point here, J, again it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, but it gets turned all the way here. So this is the axis you're using, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2. This point here on the y-axis is going to be flipped all the way around and end up here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not right, is it? Here's 1, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I turned it 180 degrees, and I'll do it for you in a second, that's probably what it's going to look like. Let's look at the spin on this. I'm going to turn it another 90 degrees, and see that bad boy matching up there? Uh-oh, what happened? Somebody tell me what happened. Oh, it was only 3. Oh, I was looking at this one, not that one. Watch. I don't like the beauty of the boards. When you make a mistake here, you just go, oh, mistake, 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 mistake. Sorry, my bad. I looked at this point, not this point. The original point was only 3 away, so it's only 3 up here. So, bam. I won't feel bad when you don't clap this time. So, when you spin it to win it, oh, sorry. Anybody? Where'd I go? When you spin it, if you're moving it up there, somehow it matches. It's not quite the exact same side. And what would be the next rotation there? 270 degrees. If I did that, it would end up being right there. Yeah, kind of a nice little pattern when you do it all. So let me give you one. I want to see, is there another rotation on this sheet somewhere? The one on the other side? Really? What's problem number 8?
There is.
There is?
Yeah, it's like a square.
Yeah, graph, I want to do right now while you're sitting there enjoying life. Do problem number 9. Let's see if you can't do that one. I want to see if you can do both. I want you to see if you can graph that four-sided shape quadrilateral and then rotate it 90 degrees clockwise about the unfair origin. Let's see if you are smart enough to do that. Well, I should try. And again, it's always good to label your points, children. Don't cut corners here. -2, 0. C is -4, 3. You got it already there? About the origin. Yours, you rotated about that one point down the shape. You rotated it 90 degrees on this point. It wants it rotated 90 degrees on that point. Back here. Well, so you should have revision back. Again, what I would do if I were thinking this is this. I'm going to draw this line here. Make it black. No, no, let me make it red. Just so you can kind of see this here. Okay, again, you are rotating this about the origin. Okay. And you're going 90 degrees clockwise, so you're turning everything a quarter of a turn. That means this x-axis is actually going to spin, and it's going to become the y-axis, more or less, if you think about it that way. So when you turn this, I can't get it there, it rotates like this, I can't rotate about the thing. So that means this. With respect to the origin, this is 2 places away, so it's going to be 2 places away here. This is your letter B prime. with respect to this axis here, this point here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So this becomes this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. This is your new whatever point that was, C prime. This point here, you know, you could think about it being this axis turned this, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And this point, what's the other point I'm missing? Do I missing one? Did I get this one? Did I get this one? Did I get this one? I didn't get this one, did I? And this one is, did I?
Yes.
No, I got that one. Am I missing one?
X.
Oh, X is, from this one, just one up, yeah. So I rotate it, and from here it's just one up. So there's my X prime. This was my Z prime. So when you connect the dots on this, it's going to look, is that gonna look right? Maybe something like here. Sorry. Things don't seem to be working here. Come on, little machine. X, boom, boom, boom. Oh, it's just because it's squashed, I think. Is it? Yeah. Wait, make it right here straight on. Make sense? Kind of? Yeah, you want to give it a shot? Why don't you try? I don't know what's left on this worksheet. Huh? Go ahead and do problems 3, and 5, and 6. And 7, and 8, and 10. So go up to 10. Most of them are just writing the rules, and that shouldn't be too tough for you, I don't think, should it? This one here, let me just give you, problem number 8, children, might look like a reflection, but it is not. This one is not a reflection, it's a turn. And you can tell because look at the letters. G has to match up with G prime. See what's happening with those. 10 ought to be fun and exciting for you. Yeah, it's all good 10. Hard to think rotation will revolve in that. Correct. Oh. Problem number 10, seventh grade, that reflection from the cross y equals x, that just means the x and y axis are actually just straight faces. That's looking a lot like just like. Yes. Yep. Just look at how one relates to the other one.
about $3. I can't even bite. I can barely bite. Oh, I was.
Oh, we're learning about shapes. Oh, wrong spot.
I don't have one. Whoa. Hard. Everything else.
Faith. You're like, I want to talk.
I have scissors.
Wait, look.
Why do you think I carried?
Wait, look.
Wait. Why do you think I carried these around?
Look.
Oh, I got 6. I got 6. This is my second one today.
Faith, they're out right now. Faith, they're out. I need to
Okay, so no, I haven't. I said it out loud.
That's actually pretty good.
Sewer apple. Sewer apple.
Sewer apple.
Huh?
Dora.
I'll try to make that. Yeah.
For that.
Yeah. I think you're with Randy.
No good thing. It's okay. It's still candy.
Maybe a rubber band for.
Wait, I think it's true.
For Birdie.
I have that.
The yellow and red drinking bottle.
Someone give yellow.
Grab a cut, please, for straight.
Someone gives me a lollipop.
Carter, take that.
Scrabble pickle.
Grab a pickle.
I need one grab.
No, grab your number.
Brand, just grab. I need one.
Wait, what do you do?
You have to grab a number.
You grab the one that's.
Wait, turn on.
It's on.
Hey, baby.
Wait.
You colored it up? No.
Wait.
No, Evelyn.
I did. Me with my lollipop.
And again, lollipops become a distraction when they're not allowed. I let you eat them as long as they don't become something else. I'm gonna have to take this. Just cause. here we go. Must be band day today.
Yeah.
58, we did it all.
Yeah.
Number one, $2.20. $2.20. Number two should be 5 1/4 inches. Oh, wait. For my people that had sentences here? Poems, yes, poems. Number three, before I forget, we should have 60 stamps and 60%.
A from Hannah that you said.
That's right, okay. 60 stamps, which is 60%. How long is this going to take? Number four should be 1,800. 1,800. Or let's look for them later. Four is 1,800.
Number 3.
5 is the letter A. 5 is the letter A. 6. What is the perimeter of this rectangle? That is 40 millimeters. 40 millimeters. 6 would be another one to check to see if you do the rectangle to show your work done. Right. Take a good palm over. 7 is 21 remainder 10. 21 remainder 10. 8 is 23 remainder 2. 23 remainder 2. 9 is 16. 9 is 16. Number 10 is 5,800. 5,800. See if I were you, if you're listening, this one today, and later, I'll go down now. Where are we at? Number 11? 11 is $100. 12 is 70. 13 is 332,031. 332,031. 14, 2,457. 2,457. 15, $12.07. $12. 16 is 4/5. 17, 515. 18, $12.07. $12.
What? You're really confused.
18, sorry, 4/5.
Wait, what was 16? Yeah, what was 16, 17 then?
16, sorry, 16 was 604.
Okay. You could change that.
17 is 515. 18 is 4/5. 19 is 3. 20 is 2 1/6. 6. 21 is 20 2/3. 20 2/3. 22 is 4. 23 is 27. 24 is 1,000. 25 is 12 millimeters. 26 is 2/11. 27 is the letter C. Letter C. 28 is 75. 29 is 1,284, 204, 000. 1-284-204-000. And number 30, $3.10. $3.10. Layla? Number 2 is 5 1/4. 25 is 24 millimeters. Carter? 20 is 2 1/6. Carter?
What's number 3?
Number 3 was 60 stamps, which is 60%. Stamps, which is 60%. Questions on those? Bryce?
13.
What the answer is? 332,031. 332,000. All right, we got your notes on the fractions, please.